Hi there, you're listening to Unnatural Selection, the show about newsy type stuff and things. My name is George.
My name is Tom.
And my name is Adam.
And with our powers combined, we are Unnatural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, unnaturalshow.com. We are a news and politics podcast. We talk about things, we deliver it directly into your brain, and we tell you the correct opinions to have.
Yeah.
Top story this week, myGov profiles are being used to hack ATO accounts, and Sue, not her real name, found out the hard way.
I love how you just
that's the first way you get hacked. If you don't use your real name, someone will fucking use it to get your account.
I like how
I work in IT, and even I'm like, that makes no sense. I can't even bullshit away for that to sound convincing.
I do like how in the article they say Sue asterisk is to say not her real name.
Well, they have that asterisk all the way at the bottom. You've forgotten about scrolling. The asterisk at this point. You got to scroll all the way down to the bottom to realize there is no Sue.
I just like the idea that
you were lied to.
So, the hackers are reading this article going, maybe I too can exploit Sue. Sue's not her real name. Oh, they got me again. Bloody ABC. Fuck.
I hate to bring a Simpsons reference this early in the show, but it reminds me of the old when they have had complaints about the teaching in the school and vegetarianism, and they say, well, a certain student, let's just call them Lisa S. No, that's too obvious. L. Simpson. Everyone just stares at me. It's like coming up with not a real name. Fuck.
Blisa Blimpson. Yeah. There we go.
Yeah.
So this lady named Sue, who is not actually named Sue, got a message from...
Is a person who exists.
Is a real person who exists. Received a message from her accountant last month while the pair were discussing her regular tax return. It said, congratulations on selling your Footuscray house. The comment was baffling because Sue didn't own a house in Footuscray. But
certainly didn't sell one.
According to our ATO records, not only did the house sell, but the tax return had already been lodged. So this is part of a one data point amongst many that show that myGov, the internet-enabled government portal, is almost certainly being used for fraudulent purposes to receive fake tax returns from the ATO. Which, I mean, who could have called that a government agency getting all of their stuff online and linking all the various agency information in one place could prove to be a bit of a honeypot for hackers? Certainly not three guys on a podcast.
Certainly problematic.
But it's all right because we've got two-factor switched on, so it's fine. She'll be all right.
Oh, totally fine. Except
happened to me, right? Like this is exactly the same thing that I had, but it wasn't with the ATO with me. It was with Centrelink. So what they do in this instance, and what's been happening, probably according to this ABC article, probably to thousands of people, is myGov is the portal. It's the front end that links to other government agencies, because it would be too hard to have all the government agencies using the same software platform. So you've got to have an API that links in to every system. Anyway.
So it's one portal and it connects to all the various systems.
So you click on your little link and it takes you over to the ATO website, and then you're using the ATO website. But of course, there's a link there. So what you can do is, in some circumstances, you can just create a new myGov. Got an email address. I'm John Smith, and I have a new myGov. Really simple to do. It takes like 5 seconds. And then what you can do is, if you're clever, if you know potentially several data points on a person, maybe even a couple data points, maybe you're just really good. Maybe
you were scanning, Optus's hacked data in the recent, hack, and you've got all of everyone's documents. You might be able to do some identity crimes. So
maybe. So you call up and you go, hey, sorry.
And your bills and everything. I have no idea where you live, though. Fuck, how am I going to figure that out?
Well, this is the thing, is that you call up, and I've done this myself because I had to then prove that I was me.
You say, hello, it's me, Guy Incognito.
Can you provide a birth certificate? I'm fucking alive, bitch. That's how I was born.
Maybe I wasn't born, and then you just disappear like the picture in Back to the Future. You just start fading away. It's like maybe I wasn't born.
Adam starts fading out of all our memories. So
you ring up and then they'll try and confirm if they'll be like, what's your name? What's your date of birth? Okay. And do you have an identity document there? And you'll be like, okay. Yep. And what was the last address you lived? Okay. What was the one before that? Okay. And what was the one before that? Okay. Well, the one from 5 addresses ago matches. That's obviously you. It's like, anyway, so but you can do it.
That should be scrutinized a little more.
Well, depending on how you spin the story.
I'm not an identity fraud person, and I think you should be asking me more questions about my identity.
Depending on who you deal with, you might be able to just over the phone. You might be able to convince someone you're really stressed and you just can't remember, but you're really and then they'll just click it through. And what they do in this instance is they then link the new myGov account to your real tax account or Centrelink account or Medicare account.
What's kind of there already. Yeah.
And that will then sever the link between your myGov. And so they will be doing things potentially if you haven't got, say, notifications set up on your existing ATO, Medicare, Veterans Affairs, or whatever the fuck, what you're using. If you haven't got other notifications set up to tell you that things are happening, you'll be completely unawares of this. Yeah, like for me, it was they were scamming COVID disaster payments, but I got a notification because I had my phone number loaded up onto Centrelink and they hadn't got through to changing that yet. And I got, you've claimed a COVID disaster. I didn't do that. Anyway, so then they claimed another one while I was on the phone to them trying to escalate it. Anyway.
You're on the phone with them and like, congratulations, Adam. You've just received another. Congratulations, Adam. You've just received. Congratulations, Adam. Congratulations, Adam. You've just received another COVID disaster payment. Congratulations.
Since it'll be like someone just the tech support or like the customer service person, they'll be like, okay, Adam, all right, yeah, let's just look into that. Yeah, that's not kind of normal. Just accessing your account right now and just tap your way. And then Mr. Doreen, it would be really nice if you could you not claim more payments while I'm in the middle of this. It'll be so much easier if you just didn't do that. And you're like, that's what I'm calling you about.
Anyway, in this
the
case,
Centrelink version of please don't bump the mouse while someone's remoting into your computer to fix it.
So in Sue's case, they claimed 5 different.
Sorry,
5
just like to clarify,
refunds.
Sue, not a real name.
Not a real name. Sue, not a real name. They claimed 5 different refunds. And this is the other thing I don't understand. How do you claim 5 refunds from the tax office? I want to know because I would love to claim some refunds.
Oh, yeah. That's like, not only should they maybe ask you more questions about more than just what your last 5 addresses were, but maybe they should scrutinize multiple. What was it? Some of those, the claims were $25,000. No, total 5 refunds amounting to $25K. It's like, wow, more I'm scared of getting audited when I'm like, I'll take my $300. Thank you. Thank you.
Could I
office supplies that I claimed? Oh God, Mr. Taxman.
Could I? I've been working from home 4 out of 5 days a week. Could I please claim 25% of my internet? Here are all the receipts and everything I've ever done on the internet since 2007.
Oh God. I have all the receipts in a folder in the cupboard. I've still got them. I claimed something when I was working in fast food 15 years ago, and please don't audit me.
It's just
yeah, no, I definitely sold a house. And they're like, sure, here's $5,000.
I sold a house. I sold a 5 house in a Footscray, in my vegetable stand, and please give me a tax refund. And apparently the ATO is just partial credit.
And here's the thing. This is the reason why it happens. So when you put claims through, whether it be a tax refund or whatever else, some of them are done automatically by the algorithm. They'll go tick. Some of them will get picked up by people. My partner's, hers got recently, her last one got picked up. It took 8 weeks for them to finalize the claim. Normally it takes 3 days. So if you assume that the system is just going to go, yep, no worries, no worries, no worries, on every single one of these.
It's actually called the no worries system.
The no worries system.
The no worries system.
And key to this, all of these payments or claims or whatever they were below the threshold, of course. the I don't know what it is, whether it's the 9999 threshold,
some worries
threshold,
the some worries threshold. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And so no one picked up on it. No one said anything. The sad thing about this, if you read through the article, and it's a pretty good one by who's the journalist? Do they say Sarah Curnow? Is that, and this is again from personal experience, when you try to chase this up, it's very fucking hard because no one will tell you what the fuck has happened.
Yeah.
And no
Maybe
one will
because
tell
they
you.
don't know.
Well,
Like,
I think
they know.
there's a person,
right? It's
there's
like-
a guy sitting in some cubicle somewhere who knows. The key is fighting your way through the various administrative assistants in order to be able to reach that guy. I'm having a similar problem with RMIT. It's just large institutions don't want to talk to people. They want to do it all by algorithm to save money. Okay, but what it means is when there's a problem which requires more than an algorithmic scan to solve, there's no person on the other end because we've completely hollowed out all of our social services and outsourced it to some fucking algorithm to the extent where, hey, I've got some credits from project management which should have been transferred over. They haven't been transferred over. Can someone please do that? You end up waiting for an hour on hold. We'll leave a message. Someone will get back to you. No one ever does get back to you because there's like 3 people working frantically doing the work of the whole organization, trying to keep up with all these fucking Zendesk tickets. But no one at the end of the day wants to own it or be responsible for it because it's not an easy ticket that goes to fulfilling their KPIs for the day. You got to get through 62 tickets. You know, like it's just this Kafkaesque fucking bureaucracy that's made worse by technology.
Super. So, I mean,
Say again?
I do get 17% super. So,
Yeah. So fuck them, I guess. I don't know what point you're making there.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's good for them. Anyway, but
I wish I got 17% super, but all I get is missing credits for my fucking MBA.
So, yeah,
Ding.
the
Ding,
MBA.
ding.
MBA.
And I could talk at length after being banned from social media about not being able to talk to people because that would make smart. That would make smart.
I was just scrolling through the ABC article because I just remembered like there was stuff around how the 2-factor authentication was bypassed in like the same sort of situation that Adam was just talking about before. But did you guys see when we scroll further down? Because remember, Sue, not her real name,
Not a real person.
is
No,
the
not a
person
real name.
that they're
She's a real
talking about
person.
here. Definitely a real person.
Yeah.
Because further down in the article, there's a photo of a woman, looks like a middle-aged to more elderly woman, but the photo is from behind, over their shoulder, at some windows, and it is captioned, "Sue wonders how many others have been hacked like her."
Yeah.
There's a huge impact to this, Tom.
Yeah.
What?
And the human impact
If
is...
you're doing not her real name, I fucking hope that's not her real neck. Like,
I don't think you can tell that much from the neck. Hang on.
Algorithms have worked out a way to identify people's necks at this point.
Well, no, more like, or if someone knows them, like if you're trying to, Adam, journalism 101, if you are trying to not identify a person, like fucking not a real name, don't use their voice, don't show a fucking photo of them. So
Yeah,
Jesus
don't tease
Christ,
us.
I hope that's a random stock photo of can we just have woman stares out window for our when will my husband return from the war sentiment of I wonder how many others are out there like me.
A lot is probably the answer, Tom, to that question.
A lot. Oh, guarantee. Like, Sue, which is not her real name, but this person who may or may not be the Sue of which the name is not real, there are many more like you. You can stop staring out the window. I don't know. Hug your cat. I don't know. Don't stand there wistfully staring out into the window.
We don't know anything about Sue, but we know that she has cats.
That's awesome.
Multiple cats. It definitely just imagining someone being like, I know that neck anywhere. That's not Sue. That's Suzanne. The pseudonym is bullshit. Yeah,
this is all completely besides the point to what the story is about. But
precisely, I just thought it was very odd.
I think though, if you're going to use a nom de plume, if you're going to use a
Pseudonym.
A pseudonym. Yeah, you'd probably go for something a little more adventurous than Sue. I'd go for like Maggie.
Trent Granite.
Yeah. Max Power. Yeah, something like that. Trent Granite.
Sorry, that's a big. My brother and I always laughed about that. My brother, author Jack Heath, he was on the show the other.
Best-selling author.
Best-selling.
Thing is with some of this though, like to be serious.
Shut up, Tom. Shut up, Tom. Adam's talking.
No, I'm talking. I don't even want to complain about how unfair the world is because
you know what? That's a more fair point to make than my brother and I always laughed about it. Well, what if we had a fake detective named Trent Granite? Anyway, go ahead.
The late night version of the show is different.
It is.
We should do all our shows after 9 p.m. on a Sunday.
I can't pick why exactly, but it is different. Yeah.
Because we're exhausted.
Yeah, that's what it is.
And we're just loosey-goosey. Anyway, sorry, Adam.
What were you saying?
About the bureaucracy.
Yeah, complain about the world. You're a guy with a podcast. Please tell us about your perspective, your complaints.
The main point I was trying to make was that the thing is when you try to chase this stuff up, when Sue, not her real name, tries to, if you call the ATO and you want to speak to, say, a case manager or whoever it may be, once you do get through to someone, they generally won't tell you a whole lot about what's going on. So you want to, firstly, you want to work out what ID is compromised. You want to work out, potentially what other information they've got to then be able to retroactively protect yourself in other areas. Apparently this person's been using several different bank accounts with Ubank. And all the money's been deposited into each, different accounts. So
the hack or whoever was impersonating them with the fake tax returns has put them in multiple different accounts with the same bank.
But with different banks potentially, but Ubank was the one that she managed to work out that they were going to. Because sometimes, and this happened to me as well, on the phone, they'll let slip certain things and you go, oh, okay, I'll take that bit of information. So I worked out that my passport was compromised because the person was just sort of talking out loud. And I was like, oh, it's my passport. She goes, oh yeah, it looks like that's it. I was like, okay, can you confirm that? She's
gotcha.
Like, no.
Gotcha, bitch.
Anyway.
Yeah, that's a little awkward because, if they're like, I mean, I guess I see where they're coming from in the sense of talking about sensitive information where, they're 80% sure you are you talking about this, so they don't want to be giving away too much. But that is also very frustrating when you're like, is my fucking driver's license in this? Just tell me. And they're like, your
and then the same thing is like
driver's license might be.
But like you would think that, if something like this was to happen, they would follow it up with the police, there'd be reports. It's like, no, if you want this followed up, you as the individual have to go and file the report.
Yeah, all of a sudden you're a PI now.
You don't have any fucking information.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what you're saying, Adam, is we have to take the law into our own hands.
Jack Reacher, season 2.
Yeah, we got to be loose cannons that get results.
God damn it, everyone in this goddamn town is corrupt. It goes all the way to the top.
I did have a fever dream where I was like, I just imagine I just found the guy through his IP address or something. I'm sitting at the front of his house. I was like, fucking walk in there and kick his face in. It's like this weird sort of really violent, weird sort of
you had
American.
You had a dream, and you said dream rather than nightmare, which I'm inferring this was a positive experience rather than a negative experience. But you had a dream where you planned and committed an assault on an individual.
Yeah.
By tracking their address.
Yeah, there's actually a couple of different statutes he's broken in this dream. So it's assault, presumably with a deadly weapon, battery,
limitations on things you do in dream,
breaking and entering. Like he's committed a number of crimes in this dream.
Yeah,
so
the dream. I stress it is a dream, not real.
I would like to. I think this is how Tom Clancy spends his time. It's just like a man forced to endure the injustice of X number of family members, wife and children murdered before his very eyes, and the crime pinned upon him. And he's got to. This is just Tom Clancy just masturbating to this scenario and just one-handed typing in his next book.
He's dead now, but that's fine.
Oh, well, now I feel bad. Dead people can't masturbate.
But people who license out the Tom Clancy brand will also be doing that, though. So the preaching continues. So yeah, basically,
I didn't expect us to be getting to Tom Clancy having a wank jokes by the end of this story.
Dead
but
Tom Clancy.
It's after 9 p.m. on a Sunday. There are no rules anymore, it seems.
Dead Tom Clancy fans masturbating over revenge fantasies. And we're 19 minutes in.
Jesus Christ. So all right. Adam, did you have a last, as the person who's endured this kind of situation the most, did you have a last point before we move on to the next ATO-related shenanigans?
Well, I'm just saying the legal framework and the government, like, the amount of money that we're spending to actually, like, sort of try and do something about this is not enough.
Yeah, whatever it is, it isn't enough.
If you are a victim of fraud, you are the one that, you know, unless it's like they're coming after you and they're trying to say to you, prove to me that you didn't steal $40,000. Generally speaking, banks will just handle it from their end, and then they may or may not necessarily.
It's a line item.
If it's a bank,
it's a fraud line item. They'll just write it off.
Yeah. Sometimes you don't get the money back if it's like, say, something.
No, I mean from them. Whether you get the money back is incidental, but from their perspective, it's just like this goes into our 2.35% fraud, you know, line item. The thing that it really is like a pretty pernicious problem that we don't talk about, and the fact that the human engineering part of it is so easy is really disturbing. Like, I think I've mentioned it on the show before, but I remember seeing this Vice report where this woman sat a journalist down, and she's like, who's a cybersecurity white hat cybersecurity expert, and she's like, "Hey, so I'm going to get access to all your shit in 8 minutes." And he's like, no, I've got 2-factor authentication on, sweetheart. I'm a fucking untouchable. And yeah, she calls, you know, whatever the telco is that he's got his phone attached to, and says, "Oh, my husband asked me to," and she plays a sound from YouTube of like a crying baby in the background. She's got it on speakerphone. She's like loading laundry. She's doing like a whole radio play for this guy on the phone. And basically saying, "Oh, you know, my husband asked me to change the number from this to this. Can you please help me out? The baby's crying. Like, I just really need to get this done." The guy changes it. She resets his 2-factor, hacks all of his accounts in the space of less than 10 minutes.
I think we've mentioned that story on the show before. It's like, human element is where everything just gets
the human element is where it falls down. I know I was just railing on algorithms and stuff before, but like, at every stage of this, we're not equipped to deal with it properly, and not enough. The algorithm.
The problem with the algorithms is that there's no way
it's after the ladies
to respond to it.
Yeah, right? With the fake radio play. That the algorithm's the problem. The algorithm shouldn't be there to be stopping Adam getting help. It should be there to stop the person doing the thing that Adam needs help to solve.
Sure.
Well, also, like helping. There should be, as George said, more people potentially in some organisations in their cyber fraud, departments to help combat this. But the thing is, like, you don't necessarily know some of this stuff has happened until
to hire the people and have them on the payroll to deal with it is probably more expensive than the cost of a couple of 5K payments that get through the net every now and then. Like some MBA shithead is sitting on the other end of this doing a cost benefit analysis going, like 11.3% of people are getting fucked as a result of this, but that only costs us this much versus the amount to hire more people. Just let them get fucked. It's like, well,
potentially, but like this ABC article points out that, like, if you think about it in some ways, cybercrime could be potentially Australia's third biggest industry in terms of the numbers at play here.
So resources, sports, and cybercrime.
Sports and cybercrime.
And then cafe owners, local cafe owners profiled in the Age newspaper as to how they feel about Dan Andrews.
Or in the Herald Sun, take your pick. So I think, the couple of things for people, if you're part of the Optus and Medibank data hacks, then make sure every sort of 6 months you're doing a credit report. They're free. The first 3 a year or something like that. So do them. Check if anyone's opening bank accounts. Check if anyone's applying for credit cards. Double check, log in to your government services every so often just to make sure nothing's changed. Log out of everything. Don't just close the browser. Log out of everything.
These are all good tips, but for general sort of digital hygiene. But what it seems like increasingly is that even if you do all of these things, you can still get fucked by holes in the system, like it used to be like, I've got 2-factor authentication, baby. I'm bulletproof. And now it's like, actually none of that matters. Like you can do everything right and still get fucked over by something like the Optus hack or it doesn't actually necessarily always matter what you as the individual do, because we're storing so much data now across so many different silos, so many different organizations, all of which are vulnerable to attack. It's like you can be the perfect digital citizen and still get fucked over by this, which is really scary. Like I've seen profiles of people that, like, when people are buying a house and they got an email from their conveyancer, and it looks like their conveyancer from their email. There's nothing suspicious about the email where it's like Bob's Conveyancing with a SING at the end or something like that. Like, it doesn't look suspicious. Looks like it's from the conveyancer. They've intercepted the email like mid-flight and then like altered it with new bank details. So you're dropping $100,000 in the wrong account. Like, that's the level of sophistication we're talking about here. It's not just
that
like,
literally happened.
Like 60-year-old mums falling for a phone call and paying their tax bill in iTunes gift card vouchers. Like, it's not that. It's like way more sophisticated now.
Well, it depends. There's different levels of it. And the other thing is, like, you can buy all this stuff. You can buy all these data points, like the Medibank data points, for instance. You can buy a profile for $1.
On the dark web or something, yeah.
Yeah. You can even look at it in some places just by doing a Google search, apparently. But, yeah, you can get
Google should
points
look
of
at
data
that.
for $1.
Not a big fan of this dark web, I have to say.
So... yeah, I don't know. After getting banned from social media, I'm like, just like,
do we explain that on the show? Explain why you got banned on social media.
I mean, again, the human point is the weak one.
It's a long story.
So
basically, don't click on Google ads.
Don't click on anything.
Don't click on Google ads. It's a bad time.
Yeah, make sure.
I got banned from social media because I clicked on an ad that I thought was something else. I downloaded a virus. They took all my cookies. And then they logged into the active session I had on Facebook and then did something, and now I'm banned from all Meta products.
Yeah, that's the part of your story that I love the most, is that you have no idea what they did, but they did something so
very
heinous
fucked up
that it is a lifetime ban from Facebook.
Yeah, it's like
not for the account.
Alex
me as
Jones,
an individual, am banned from Facebook.
Alex Jones was on there for a good couple of years before he got banned, so it must have been pretty fucked up to get insta-banned.
Your account did something in a night.
In one night.
6 hours, Tom. I went to bed at 11:30 and I woke up at 7, and then it was like, your account's been disabled.
Yeah, you have been turbo banned. Fuck knows what you did. That's crazy. What digital you did.
So if you see any white nationalist media floating around out there with Adam Doreen's cheery face on it, then but I would note that it's 80 to 90%.
Don't click the link. Unless you're the kind of person who would click that link even if we hadn't told you it was suspicious, in which case,
if you're into it,
link and have your life stolen, you white supremacist fuck. Speaking of fucks, Robodebt. We've talked about Robodebt a lot on the show. Robodebt also fucked over a lot of people and unlawfully used algorithms and income averaging
433,000 people.
Yes,
I know, guys. I know we're
2 billion people.
I know we're down on algorithms. $2 billion
from the people.
I know we're down on algorithms at the moment, but I used this Chat GBT to help write my mum's birthday card a couple of days ago, and it was pretty good. So I don't want to be completely down on the algorithms.
Oh, don't get me started on that stuff. Like, it can write some okay code. Anyway, so we've talked about Robodebt and people having money clawed back from them unlawfully and it all being fucked and terrible, and all the people responsible should be in a shit ton of trouble. But there's a Royal Commission going on right now, and some juicy morsels have come out of that. Before we get to the big kahuna of the architect, would we say Scott Morrison's an architect of the scheme?
Architect suggests a certain level of like creativity and like a certain like design, like a, I don't want to say like a design, but yeah, it suggests a certain.
Scheme feels pretty creatively evil.
Yeah, but I don't think it was. Well, I could be wrong about this, and I suppose the commission will draw it out further. I don't know how much of it is related to Scott Morrison being the Lord of all evil, as much as it is him just being like completely inept and just unable to do anything. Like, he wanted to institute something that was like on its face, like prima facie, obviously evil, But I don't know how much of it was like, yes, I'm going to do an evil scheme, and how much of it was, yes, I'm a complete idiot on the taxpayer purse and I don't care about anything and I don't look at my emails.
Right. Well, I guess we'll find out. But I guess before we get to some of those juicy details, I just rather enjoyed this aspect of the story, where a portion of the commission was dedicated to interviewing a former member of the ATO, the Australian Tax Office, or maybe a current ATO person, actually, I'm not sure, but Tyson Fawcett is their name, and they were talking about how in 2017, when a lot of the initial stories around Robodebt were kicking off, and like the real bad press about how fucked it is was kicking in, and learning about using the ATO's data for income averaging. That's what happened to me with that story I told on the show a couple of weeks ago, where they, thanks to ATO data, reported both about my pay and where I worked. It didn't add up. They thought I earned more money than I did because they averaged my income over the year on a week-to-week basis.
But you're reporting your income to Centrelink on a fortnightly basis.
Yes, on a fortnightly basis, and those things didn't line up, and et cetera, et cetera. So it's incredibly sketchy, and that's what the whole commission's about. But anyway, so in 2017, Tyson Fawcett and just the ATO in general, when hearing about all this, were communicating with the Department of Human Services, and to be like, hey, can you tell us more about how you're using like the data that we share with you as another government service? Like, we've been sharing data with you for like 20 years. How are you using it for this? We haven't shared you any new stuff. We're not giving you information you weren't already getting for the past 20 years. But are you using it to do some income averaging that's like causing all this crazy bullshit? We'd like to know a bit more about that. And Human Services were like, how you're asking? Don't ask. Just like, hey, no, we're not doing anything untoward. Just like, whatever. Get off my dick, Tyson, I guess was kind of the response. But the reason I brought it up is that Tyson, Mr. Fawcett here from the ATO, in his testimony, gave some of the best nothing speak I think I have ever.
Classic double, absolute ATO double speak.
It is a masterclass in how to answer questions while not actually like you being the one saying the thing. So I want to read some examples.
The guy's a trained government bureaucrat, Tom. You can tell he's got excellent pedigree as a government functionary.
Yeah, absolutely incredible. So a lot of the questioning was going on around an emails back and forth between the ATO and the Department of Human Services, where Mr. Fawcett was writing the emails from the ATO saying things like, the ATO is seeking assurance on the use of its data, the exchange data provided to the DHS on how it's being used, etc. And the counsel, the senior counsel assisting Justin Gregory for the commission, asked the question to Mr. Fawcett, you want an urgent meeting, and if they're not going to agree to it, you want to stop them using the data, like following the email? And Mr. Fawcett's response was, I'm unable to recall precisely the events, but what you infer is a likely scenario.
Just say yes, Tyson. Just say yes. It's in the email. It's in the email. I am seeking an urgent discussion. By the way, this is how you know how long government takes. I'm seeking an urgent discussion, in parentheses, next week at the latest. An urgent discussion that could take 5 to 9 business days on this. Wild. Otherwise, I ask that you cease and desist the usage of this data until we have your assurance around the data use. And he goes, yeah, that seems legit from what you said.
Yeah.
It's like, that's what you're saying. I'm reading the email. I'm saying the words back to you when you say either tell us what you're doing with the data or we're going to tell you to stop using it. Is that what you said? And he goes, that's what the email says.
I can't recall, but that scenario that you infer is quite likely. But then he followed it up with, I actually cannot recall, but it was that I was wanting much stronger assurance around what was happening.
Yes.
A lot of was.
Say that. Back up. Say that again.
Okay, so I think the full statement that he said was I'm unable to recall precisely the events, but what you infer is a likely scenario.
Seems
I
legit.
Actually cannot recall, but it was that I was wanting much stronger assurance around what was happening.
My Grammarly would tear that fucking sentence apart. Okay. It will go, okay, incorrect use of was, redundant, unnecessary. It'd be like, the answer should be yes.
And then Mr. Gregory for the commission asked, but it wasn't just that, Mr. Fawcett. It was a request which was followed by a big stick, as he phrased it, a request to cease and desist in the absence of that assurance, to which Mr. Fawcett replied, it most definitely uses language to that effect. Yes.
So whoever wrote the email, it definitely sounds like it was you who wrote the email. Yes, but that's what the email sounds like.
I didn't realize yes was in Mr. Fawcett's vocabulary, but he used it at the very end there. It definitely uses language to that effect. Yes. And it just gets even better. Where I think another one, he was asked some questions. I think actually what the question is kind of doesn't really matter, but it feels a bit further back to they were talking about more like, yeah, you were seeking assurance, weren't you? Or like, what did this person have to say? And they say, I can't recall what that person said. You should ask them, etc. But then I think the response, I think what you infer in what has been written there would be an accurate assessment. This is masterful. I'm both shockingly impressed and mortified.
Could you imagine if your boss says, hey, George, you've written me this email. Does that mean you would like me to proof this document? And you responded, I think what you infer in what has been written there would be an accurate assessment. You'd be like, so that's a yes, right?
I think
that's what you meant?
George, you need to push that hypothetical further. I think this would be like if you emailed your boss your boss just said, hey, in this email you told me to, and I quote, take a dump on my own desk because I'm a piece of shit and a piece of shit is all I will be. So you take that shit, you giant shit fuck shit. Did you write this? What did you mean by this? Well, I think what you infer and what has been written there would be an accurate assessment. Did you tell me to take a shit on my own desk?
You're fired, George. You're fired. Obviously.
Did you tell me to take a shit on my own desk? Well, I can't recall, but it was that I was wanting much stronger assurance around you taking a shit on your desk. So,
it appears
what you infer is a likely scenario.
What you're inferring from the desk regarding the defecation comment seems like it would be a likely scenario based on my understanding of the email, whoever wrote it.
Yeah, it does sound like infer was his calendar word of the day.
Yeah.
Was that on his calendar this morning and went infer. I'm going to use that word.
Can you imagine the people in the room and it's like 9:30 on a Monday and they're just like, ugh. I can't. I was at the Sunday night Christmas party and I can't be here right now. Just listening to this verbal diarrhea.
It's pretty funny because there's a couple of little bit of back and forth between them. So it looks very much as if she's telling you to back off because that is what the government wants. The commissioner put to Mr. Fawcett, how did you take it? And then his response, in terms of what I can remember, Commissioner, I sort of can only rely on that I provided a later response, which was somewhat shorter, he said. You stopped saying cease and desist and instead said, and this is my favorite quote, I can explain to you what the problem is if you can't grasp it, the commissioner said. Then he responds, that would be a fair categorization. So basically, in the email, he's like, as per my previous email, dumb cunt, I need you to stop using this information. I will explain it to you if you can't grasp it, you fucking Luddite.
Yeah. It's like, can you please meet me in person to talk about this? Because I need to tell you, if you don't understand, why using our data to do something this fucking insane is not a good idea.
I can draw you a chart, you fucking mole person. And he's like, and yeah, that would be a fair categorization.
Meanwhile, the narrator's they did not stop using the data.
Ron Howard goes, they didn't.
They didn't. Instead, they...
but that wasn't the height of the testimony given at the Royal Commission. The award, of course, for... and nefribulous dissembling and bozzle swanking with the utmost wordisms, of course, has to go to our very own member for Cook, the cooker himself, Scott Morrison. So we've got a little bit of the commentary here from Scott Morrison doing his absolute utmost.
I hope none of you are listening to this in public right now, because you may get very aroused to the sheer level of brutality the commissioner hits Scott with.
The man can't.
I was horny when I was reading these quotes. I was just like, oh my God. This is
Tom's become desensitized to like normal porn. He's got to watch political
He's got to watch
savagery now.
Humiliation porn,
like,
i.e. Scott Morrison answering questions in front of the Robodebt Commission. The man can't lie in a straight line. He can't lie down straight in bed. The man is just incapable of delivering a straight truth.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, please, like, Alice, just grill me like a commissioner.
Yeah, baby.
Love you, darling. You'll hear this later, and then I'm going to hear about it later as well, I imagine. But hopefully you...
You're going to forget, and you're going to see her listening from across the room. Your eyes are going to go wide. She's going to make eye contact with you and go, excuse me, what?
Actually, yeah, I'll probably be sitting at this very desk, and then she'll appear in the doorway just looking at me, and I'll be like, what?
And she'll say,
it'll come back to me.
No one ever expects the Spanish Inquisition.
She'll just be like,
call me Mr. Speaker. Well, let's get some inspiration for the role play.
Call me Speaker one more time is absolutely the song, the Britney Spears remake that we need in light of Miss Peter Dutton calling the female speaker Mr. Speaker.
Mr. Speaker.
Can we play that as well? That is...
I'll see if I can pull it up. Here's Scott Morrison dissembling.
But it is a difficult system.
I think you were actually asked about directions or guidance to Ms. Campbell.
Happy to respond.
Well, go right ahead.
And by the way, that bill is now 50 billion, not 12, when it comes to the NDI.
Mr. Morrison, can I just get you to stick to answering the question a bit more? I do understand that you come from a background where rhetoric's important.
Boom.
But it is necessary to listen to the question and just answer it without extra detail. Unnecessary detail, if you could.
Commission. I go to that first.
Well, I think you're wandering a bit, because all I'd asked was, had you talked about it before you got it? Mr. Morrison, please just listen to the question. Mr. Morrison, better if you just wait for the questioning.
Okay, sorry. Now, if you go to the last page there,
Mr. Morrison, I'm not going to the last page. I've asked a question. You've given an answer, but you
and,
already have, Mr. Morrison.
Well, the
answer's no. You've given your answer.
What I understood your question to be...
Let's not go there.
Well, I'll ask it again.
No, you'll be answering something you've assumed I've asked.
Okay, well...
better that I ask it again, Mr. Morrison.
Let's go again. Well, that's
Look, I've given you a good deal of leeway on this.
I had one more point, if I may.
All right, one more.
Because I was unaware.
Oh, look, could we just have your evidence, Mr. Morrison? Never mind Miss Wilson's evidence. Just answer the question, if you could.
That this was unlawful.
This has got nothing to do with the question you were asked. Look, I think you're going much further than the question. I don't know what it is you're trying to preempt here.
That is my evidence.
Yes, that may not be my question, though. My question is, no, please don't interrupt me. I have given you the courtesy of not interrupting your answers. I expect the same, Mr. Morrison. Fair enough?
Happy to do so.
I think the problem is more what it had to do with the question asked, which I conclude was nil. Mr. Gregory, have you got another question?
Yes.
So good.
Oh,
I can't come without listening to that tape anymore.
Oh, you all just, like, I think so many people came in the last, 80 seconds. Oh.
I kind of want to watch the whole thing. I've watched the 10-minute trailer that you
Did I just get you horny for accountability, Adam?
Yeah. I think I need to go the full
good.
into my credit card details and pay for the full version of that goes for half an hour as opposed to the...
You want to join ScoMo's OnlyFans?
I do.
If you want to see more of me lying heinously on the stand of the Robodebt Royal Commission...
George, I would certainly pay for the OnlyFans that is just non-stop footage of Scott Morrison getting fucked, because that's what that was.
Rhetorically fucked, to be clear.
Oh my God.
Hey, Scott, if you could just return to the question, which you have not answered at all, and then answer it and not say other words.
I particularly love the...
Chef's kiss.
Yes, but that wasn't my question. You're answering a question that you have presumed me to ask, which I did not.
Yeah, well, Mr. Speaker, I like to answer my own questions that I make up in my head.
I mean, I wish journalists could do this
Could
more.
grill like that, yeah.
Because I know in the situation of a press conference, then yeah, like obviously, like he can't just walk out and leave in that sort of scenario. Whilst at a press conference, we've seen him do it a lot. Like we've seen him just do the thing of like, no, excuse me, you're being rude,
no,
and blah blah blah. This interview is over. Goodbye, kind of thing. Whilst if they could grill him to that level of like, yeah, sure, you said all that bullshit for the past 2 minutes, Scott, but the question I actually asked was, why you shit?
What did you know and when did you know it?
Yeah, exactly. All that sort of stuff. So yeah. I got it. Oh, it's just. Oh,
can you
it makes
imagine?
Me so horny to see this.
Can you imagine the Herculean levels of patience that Catherine Holmes, the commissioner, needed to exhibit to just sit across from Scott Morrison for hours as he's trying to do these verbal gymnastics, trying to not answer any questions. Like I just can't imagine. That's your job. Your job today is to go to work and watch Scott Morrison being a lying piece of shit, and you need to keep a straight face and not call him a fucking idiot for hours. That's your job for today.
I love that she managed to be calling him a fucking idiot without calling him it. Oh, just so many times. They were meant to hear from 2 people that day, but. And the way that like they had to keep pulling Scott Morrison up like that and all that meant that they only got to hear from 1 person that day, and they've scheduled the second person to give evidence at a later date. And the one thing I'll give Scott, I was a bit like, that's a zinger. And if it was anyone else, I'd be like, mwah, what a comeback. But he sucks. But was when one of the I think the justice asking the questions,
Catherine
Gregory, or like the QC or something, the KC, sorry. Just bringing up like, oh wow, no, the way this is going, like we're gonna have to go into tomorrow, like this is all crazy. And Scott's response was, "I'm free tomorrow." I was like, oh, that's actually a deliciously good comeback to something like that. I was like, well, I'm free tomorrow. So
it turns out I don't do anything.
Let's dance. So you know what? Broken clock. Good singer.
As a shadow backbencher, I've got fucking nothing but time to burn. I don't even I don't care about my constituents. Justin Brilliant. Gregory was the KC, the gentleman asking the questions there. So
I still say KC, not QC. My brain's wrapping my head around that.
King's Council.
I keep having to change it back to King's Council. It's very funny.
So
we have such funny little rules.
I enjoy the outcome of the Robodebt Royal Commission, and I look forward to the world that it will bring about, in which government does not take advantage of the people it represents anymore. I'm glad we'll have solved that problem once and for all.
10 out of 10.
Speaking of our flawlessly functioning legal system, the Bruce Lehrmann trial. So that was sarcasm voice there. I don't know if anyone could, just for clarity. In case this transcript ends up being read out in court.
Is that a fair assessment of what you inferred?
Well, I could say the inference is not it's from the transcript that you read. I can infer that my inference wasn't inferring that, in fact, that was the case. That is the reading to which I could ascribe as a fair categorization.
Can you please answer the question?
Sharkies. Bruce Lehrmann. So regarding the Bruce Lehrmann trial, the ACT prosecutor who was conducting the prosecution against Bruce Lehrmann has issued a complaint about Linda Reynolds, who was the boss of Bruce Lehrmann and Brittany Higgins during the time of the alleged assault, has complained about her disturbing conduct, categorizing it as interference, basically, during the trial of Bruce Lehrmann. So, including her alleged coaching of his defense team, her attempt to solicit transcripts during the trial, as the trial's being conducted via text message, and the presence of her partner in court. And her partner, she maintains, was kept completely in the dark.
That last part, that's so strange.
Yeah, so she's like, no, we go home and we sit on the pillow and we talk about the latest season of The White Lotus. We definitely don't talk about the trial at which we are both at all day.
Yeah, the trial apparently her where partner, I am connected to. Yeah, not as in the charges are against her, but is a key player in the events relating to said trial.
Yeah,
but
she was
no,
just
we don't talk
interested.
about it. And he's like, he just wants to go there and just listen.
I'm just curious as to what she said.
No other motive, no other interests regarding the how this trial is playing out. We don't talk about it afterwards. Like, he just for fun likes to sit in on like the biggest assault trial in.
Well, yeah, and he was seen regularly conferring with the defense counsel during the process, which feels not good.
Not good at all.
During the trial, the ACT Supreme Court heard that Linda Reynolds, had texted the defense barrister Stephen Wybrow while Brittany Higgins, the accuser, was in the witness box, seeking transcripts of her evidence in the trial. The request was made 2 hours into Higgins' cross-examination on October the 6th. So Linda Reynolds is saying, no, I wasn't trying to request that information to get my story straight. I was doing it because I was just curious as to what that... Yeah, it's a normal thing to do.
I didn't realize I could maybe do that. Can I just text the lawyers and just be like, hey, can I just read the exchange that's going on in this trial? Like,
I just want to know.
I don't know. I just want some... I'm just into it. I'm just curious.
Curious to know what had been said. She was later advised it was inappropriate and the transcripts were not sent.
Good. That someone was doing their job.
Yeah, someone was. I just don't understand the audacity for Linda Reynolds to say like, oh, I'd never been in a criminal trial before. I didn't know what you're supposed to do. It's like, well, not try to influence anyone, lawmaker. That seems like a really important part of being tangentially connected to an ongoing criminal proceeding is that you be nowhere near any of it. It seems like a thing that a lawmaker should know.
The sentence and this is part of what is in the headline of the article, but the sentence that I find interesting is that she further engaged in direct coaching of the defense cross-examination of the complainant by directing them to evidence she should not have access to, which is separate to the transcripts that we're talking about. Yeah. This is something else. So, like, she's either... I think you said this in the chat as well, and I think I was thinking of something similar, that she's either the dumbest person
ever to
alive.
Have lived. Yeah. I think I used language that might have been slightly stronger than that. I appreciate you for censoring that for the podcast.
Or she's just like, I don't know, like just like blinkers on, like, what was the wording? We've got to find the wording now.
Maybe not the complete wording, just to avoid any defamation lawsuits.
No, but that she's just basically, like willfully trying to, like, doesn't care about the rules, basically.
Yeah,
doesn't care.
Yeah, it feels like it's either it doesn't know or doesn't care.
How could you not know?
Which is worse.
You've been involved in government for years. I don't have any legal training, and I know it is not appropriate in a situation where I am even tangentially related to a case, that I should not be questioning people. I should not be asking for transcripts. I shouldn't be advising anyone, allegedly, on how to proceed as part of their testimony in the trial. My partner shouldn't be conferring with the defense team. Like, I, as someone who does not work at crafting legislation for a living, I know that that's inappropriate. Even just the appearance of being too involved in the appearance of potential influence is enough in and of itself to potentially corrupt the proceedings. Like, certainly there would be, you'd have to assume that her lawyers would have advised her, like, you need to stay a million miles away from this. Like, you can't be involved because it's going to look bad for you, if nothing else, right? Like,
she's a minister; she can do what she wants.
Yeah. Well, that seems to be that is the inference based on the text to which I am inferring. That is the thing. That
I'm going to infer that the sentence you used in the chat was that she's a bold-faced, contemptuous liar.
Yeah, well, allegedly. That's from what you've written there, I can infer that might have been the meaning that you draw there was in the correct category. I don't recall.
Let's talk like this forever. This is great. This is just like, it's doing it for me. Tom likes to see Scott Morrison getting shat on. I just like to see just superlatives and nonsense talk, like, just for hours on end. It's really engaging.
I love a defibrillator superlative. So that seems very not good, and we'll see what happens there. I assume there's going to be here's a prediction. You ready for the three guys of the podcast prediction? No consequences whatsoever.
Yeah, no, nothing.
Nothing's going to happen.
Narrator, it didn't.
It didn't.
Speaking of superlatives and nonsense talk, we can probably go to the biggest nonsense talker in the world
of our generation.
Donald J. Trump.
Donald Trump had a massive announcement, a huge major announcement. Lots of people saying, is he starting his third party? Is he going to strap himself to a rocket and fire himself into the sun, as many had hoped? The answer is no. He is, of course, launching his much anticipated NFT collection. You heard me. Donald Trump, the former president of the United States, has launched a digital trading card collection for the purposes of lining his pockets. And he is still
$99 a card.
$99 a card. And you don't get to choose. You don't get to choose the card. You just buy a card and you get whatever's given to you. So it's Donald Trump standing in front of Trump Towers with lasers coming out of out of his eyes. You might get that 5 times. You know, that's up to you.
Yeah, you might. That's the thing about trading cards. Aren't they great? Haven't they been wonderful?
And I'd like to say he's really, the man's got his fingers on the pulse of American society, dropping an NFT collection right in the middle of crypto winter. The man knows what he's doing, right? The man knows.
Can we play the ad? Can we play the ad real quick?
Oh, we have to play the ad.
Yeah.
Because
you have to hear this.
There's a cool and fun part where he says he's better than Abraham Lincoln and George Washington.
Bold.
It's the lasers coming out of his eyes.
Hello, everyone. This is Donald Trump. Hopefully your favorite president of all time, better than Lincoln, better than Washington, with an important announcement to make. I'm doing my first official Donald J. Trump NFT collection right here and right now. They're called Trump Digital Trading Cards. These cards feature some of the really incredible artwork pertaining to my life and my career. It's been very exciting. You can collect your Trump digital cards just like a baseball card or other collectibles. Here's one of the best parts. Each card comes with an automatic chance to win amazing prizes like dinner with me. I don't know if that's an amazing prize, but it's what we have.
No.
What the fuck is
I love that in the middle of his pitch. The guy's a genius salesman. He's an absolute marketing genius. He's an absolutely indefatigable communicator. The man cannot be stopped. And he's like, the prize is dinner with me. I don't know if that's a good prize, but whatever. I'm not going to actually do it, you fucking rubes. Give me your money, you fucking idiots. Hey, here we go.
Or golf with you and a group of your friends at one of my beautiful golf courses, and they are beautiful. I'm also doing Zoom calls, a one-on-one meeting, autographing memorabilia, and so much more. We're doing all.
Was he on a Zoodle? Was he on one of those like
the video footage? It says me autographing memorabilia, and it's just got him signing his name on an iPad. Just like in a text, it's like an iPad or like some sort of digital tablet. Signing his. He's not signing memorabilia. He's just writing his name out like a kindergartner in crayon. They're like, we need some B-roll of you signing something, and he's like, I could write my name. I could write it down on this tablet. And it just like scratches it like some sort of monkey that's garnered access to a crayon and is just scribbling things on the paper. Like. It's incredible. And the photos are just the incredible artwork. They're just like photoshopped. It's just like Photoshop picture, like literally something that some meme that some shitlord, edgelord shit cunt on Twitter has just put together in Canva with 45 minutes and a dream. Like it's
that how did he phrase it before? He said like, incredible artwork relating to
my career and my
career
life
and
achievements.
Things in my life. One of them was like him in a tuxedo, just sort of standing in front of some stairs.
Here's one of him appreciating gold.
But another one, he's a fucking astronaut. Has not happened. And then the first one, the one that everyone's sharing everywhere, is he looks like fucking Homelander.
Yes. He's got lasers coming out of his eyes.
And lasers coming out of his eyes, not dead ahead, in 2 different directions. 2 different outward directions.
Maybe this is all a meme.
And this was a very important moment in my life.
This is like
when I burned Joe Biden with my retinas.
Maybe he didn't actually sign off on this. Maybe it's like some deep, like
the deep state.
Democrat.
I've seen the documents.
Deep fake. Yes. Yes, that would be delicious. It's just amazing. Like, I just think the fact that he made this announcement. Well, he made an announcement before the announcement. We love an announcement announcing an announcement.
A pre-announcement.
Where he just said a major announcement.
Major.
It's coming on Thursday. And some of the things that I saw running around of people being like, oh, God, what's he going to announce? Were actually quite terrifying. Like, the most obvious one was, is he going to announce who his running mate will be in his presidential run for 2024? Oh, fuck, who's going to be the vice president?
Is it Kanye
Trump
West?
Again, like, what kind of piece of shit is he going to trot out? Or other people said, is he going to announce that he's going to be running on an independent ticket? And that's going to absolutely fuck the vote base for the Republican Party and absolutely create some kind of chaos vacuum of alt-right bullshit. Like, wow, what's going to happen? Or like, these all have like insanely huge, wide-reaching political ramifications. It's NFTs. It's NFTs, you guys. It's NFTs. The stuff that we already had noticed were a huge scam and complete dullshit. Like,
I'd like to announce in the collapse, during the collapse of FTX, this is the height of the market. I'd like to promote my NFT collection.
Yeah.
You're a president.
Like absolute garbage.
It's not
NFTs are garbage by their very
Are there
nature.
already like trading cards that are NFTs? Like, is this an established thing?
NFTs are just images.
Like creating a product.
They could be anything. And NFTs can be any kind of like artistic sort of exploit, right?
Do people like trade?
Yeah.
They're trading cards. You're meant to trade them. One, the spaceman's meant to be very rare. I can't get the spaceman.
Can I? So I think the way the framing of it as trading cards is basically like digital baseball cards is basically the way of like parlaying NFT. You notice he doesn't use the phrase NFT during the course. It's his way of communicating that to his dumb ape fucking audience who has no fucking. It's all a bunch of boomers sitting on their alligators in Florida going, I want to give Donald Trump some money. I want baseball cards. It's like it's done in a way that's dumb enough for them to understand, to make it palatable for them. Because if you start talking about NFTs and crypto wallets, all these people are going to fucking pass away. Their souls are just going to leave their bodies because they have no fucking clue. Anyway, there's more of Donald Trump talking, and I can't believe I'm about to say this, but you should hear it.
A lot. My official Trump digital trading cards are $99, which doesn't sound like very much for what you're getting.
It's literally a digital picture.
Buy one and you will join a very exclusive community. It's my community. And I think it's something you're going to like, and you're going to like it a lot. They also make...
It's something that you're going to like, and I think it's something you're going to like, and you're going to like it a lot.
I decided, you want to or not.
I changed my mind from I think you're going to like it to I've decided you are liking it.
Perfect gifts. So you can buy them with your credit card or crypto. All you need is an email address. Go to collecttrumpcards.com and buy your Trump digital trading cards right now before they are all gone.
Again, they can't be all gone because they're digital.
And they will be gone. This is my first official Trump trading card NFT collection.
First
and
of many.
You get a chance to meet me. Go to collecttrumpcards.com right now. And remember, Christmas is coming, and this makes a great Christmas gift.
No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited.
It does not make a great Christmas gift. His eyes point out at the weird directions. Like that graphic one with the lasers coming out is fucked. And also, I don't think Trump's ever ridden a horse away from an explosion.
I'm starting to think these may not be accurate.
It was that one time with the riots where he was definitely... No. He was holding a Bible upside down. Where's the one with him holding the Bible upside down? I want to see that one.
Yeah. Actual moments from Trump's very checkered presidential history would be something that I would actually enjoy.
Alrighty.
On that note of stupid bullshit.
Yeah. The next president of the United States, ladies and gentlemen. All of this is just going into his pocket. By the way, this is not for his campaign. This is just, hey, I'm Donald Trump. I want you to buy these JPEGs and give me a lot of money. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, $99 for what you're getting, which is an NFT, a picture. But believe me, it's incredible. I've decided you love it. Give me your money, you fucking rubes. Delightful. On that note, we have been, we are, and we always will be Unnatural Selection. Make sure you visit us at our salubrious home on the web, unnaturalshow.com. Make sure you follow us on all the bullshit social medias that have, do, and ever will exist at our handle, Unnatural Show. That's Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and motherfucking TikTok. Twitter? Do I say Twitter in that? Anyway, follow me. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at George Tsipos.
You can follow me on Twitter at Tom D. Heath.
And you can
follow me anywhere because I'm banned.
Yeah, I was going to say, you follow us all down to the App Store. We'll be figuring out how to buy these digital baseball cards of Donald Trump, who is our liege, our Lord of Light. Thanks for listening, guys. Love your face. Oh, hello, Arbo, who's just joined. You've joined at a terrible time. We're finishing. Love your faces. We'll see you next week.
But I've decided that Arbo loves the show.
I've decided you love us.
You're definitely going to love the show because we can just say
you
that.
Have to. Yeah.
We can just say that. You love the show.
Buy the NFT.
Please give me $99 and I will give you nothing.
I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but it's pretty great.
Yeah, it's pretty great. It'd make a great gift, you giving me $100.
Yeah, that's the gift.
And me giving you nothing, and you can give that nothing to a loved one.
$101 would be unreasonable, but 99 is...
99's a great price. It doesn't seem
great price. Perfect price. It's 2 digits rather than 3, and that means cheaper.